remember. And eventually you will. Just like eventually I will. Just like eventually all souls who incarnate on the planet will remember. We are divine creators. Earth is an opportunity with a variety of opportunities that come forth. Today's lecture topic is where doubt cannot go. It is all about who you perceive yourself to be right now. Much of it is based on belief. And much of the belief that you have operating is been given to you. Your mother, your father, your other relatives, perhaps you had siblings, friends, schooling, everything, but that's a beginning, because who we have been taught to believe ourselves to be, and we've accepted to be our identity, really doesn't do fair justice to who we are. And who we are, I'm talking about now, self. We all have our belief self. I believe me to be who I've been taught to accept. I've added things, I've taken away things, but I still stayed in that basic level of belief. And the belief that I have assumed to be true has been that everything out there, circumstances, determine my reality. And it's a matter of how I learn to manipulate circumstances that is going to guarantee my success in life. In all probability, you were raised the same way and have held, if you don't still hold, the awareness that your belief self is the accurate self of who you are when it isn't. You might say, look at it this way. Your awareness is capable of looking into the invisible and with curiosity and intent, make discoveries about who you truly are. And the interesting thing about this is that a part of that has been brought forth in the way we have been educated, but it has stopped so far as really helping you to claim who you are. It's told you, you're made in the image and likeness of God. You are a creator. But then so far as saying, how do I learn to be a creator? How do I discover it? Has been deliberately kept from us. And that's for control features, which I'm not going to get into here today. But it is to help you to see what I am encouraging you here with today is if you're going to make any kind of changes that lead you to discovering who you truly are, you have to first start with self. Right now, I said it initially, your belief self. And then I said your true self, your divine nature. Find that self and don't be ashamed of what you find, because you're going to probably see things in it that you'd like to change. Wonderful. The reason I say that is because you are a creator, whether you're conscious or unconscious. You're still creating, whether taught by others or learned as you awaken. So, then we get to doubt. We live in a really good area to describe doubt. We have fog roll in and it covers the sun, much like doubt rolls in and covers the light of who you truly are. So many people look at that and they say, you know, man, I've got a doubt problem. Doubt is harassing me, is bugging me all the time. But they don't. They have an assumption problem. Now, let's see. Assumption, belief. They're basically making reference to the same thing because who you assume yourself to be right now is who you believe yourself to be. Go to anyone outside of this room and you bring this forth with them and they're going to have trouble. But the fact is every one of us is a creator. Up to now, most of us create unconsciously based on what we have been given to believe to be true about who we are. When I speak the word assumption, I'm just saying belief, but taken to the degree to where you're able to look and see, okay, if I'm not who I believe myself to be, then who am I? Well, if you really get curious, then life is going to provide you with opportunity of discovery. And if you go within, you're going to find that there are places that you haven't given great attention to in the way that you can so far as discovery. And that is to go into your imagination. Because again, we've been given basically very little information nor instruction to apply so far as the power of our imagination. Because our imagination is our link to our Creator. Because when we go into our imagination and consider ourselves to be creators, we can make discoveries about what we're capable of creating. And the suggestion has been given, who do you want to be? What do you want to have in your life? When I speak in this way, then of course I'm making reference to what has filled your consciousness up to this point. Do you believe that you have everything operative in your life? That you are wealthy? That you are surrounded in love? That you are completely successful? And in all probability, the answer is not quite. Because you see, there has to be a match of who you recognize yourself to be with what you see that you want to be. When those two come together, then you have a very strong assumption that then affects the 3D reality we live in. Up to now, we've been taught to believe circumstances determines our reality and how we are able to manipulate it, change it to our favor completely backwards. Because the fact of the matter is, we haven't let go of that old identity that says, I don't deserve it. I mean, consider, you're born in sin. God is holding you responsible for all of those. The only way that you can change that is to go through an intermediary. So that's just one imposed limitation, but you see it in so many other ways. But to recognize that that is an imposed limitation, what we have been taught to believe to be true about who we are, and then to consider, wait a minute, if I'm divine, then I must have the power of the maker and creator of who I am. What can I do to discover about my power? So let's say you start out with the basic wealth. You want to have wealth in your life. Well, that means you change your awareness about what wealth is and who you are, and who in you already is wealthy that you can identify with and keep that identification alive as a living assumption. Right now, you have a living belief. You can call it an assumption, but look at it. Is it who you want to continue living out? See, it's not for me to decide it for you. It's for me to decide it for me. But this is called awakening. This is going from unconsciousness to consciousness and making decisions about who we are that we see right now we are in the process of becoming, and have that be a living dialogue that we keep with ourselves and a living awareness that we keep even though we're looking at what we're experiencing today. Did I wake up this morning as who I'm going to be? Yes. But did I wake up this morning experiencing that in my 3D reality? No. But look again now. What you are experiencing today as your 3D reality was created yesterday and is showing up today. The way that creation flows. It can help you to realize, all right, I've got to stick with my awakened awareness of who I am and look at through who I am at what is right now and see that what is right now, as I stay with who I am becoming, will become my reality, manifesting in my future. Illusion?
No.
No.
If I did, don't worry about it. Because you see, it takes repetition of having this awareness dawn and be able to crack through the belief self that says, no, 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 that cannot be. When in reality of not cannot be. The fact is, it already is. Because this is a part of discovery that I mentioned first as remembering. You see, you wake up and discover who you are. And in your discovery, it's going to translate into, I remember who I am. I am an awakened being that is beginning to change my life through my awakening and determine I am going to create my reality and I'm going to live that creation now, knowing that it will come into manifestation as I persist in living it. So, where did doubt go in all of this? Out the window. Because you see, when you live who you are, and you have that be your frame of reference and the way you perceive things, there's no room for doubt at all. I mean, after all, can you doubt even who you believe you are right now? I mean, it's your identity, right? We're talking about identity. So just take this into account so that you see, before operating with doubt as a part of your operating awareness, doubt says, I need proof. Show me the money. Then I'll know I'm prosperous. And that completely takes out of the picture what's causing that poor experience in your life. It's called your poverty consciousness. So that no matter how much money you may have or don't have, you're still going to look at it and say, it's not enough. Won't work. Something's going to happen. Somebody's going to take it away. I'll get sued. I'll be involved in something that I'll lose everything I had. Poverty consciousness thinks like that and has that operating in your awareness to where it's been there so long. I mean, after all, consider how many years have you spent up to right now living the awareness of yourself that you have? Hey, consider it. And all of a sudden you're waking up? Yes. But you expect that all of a sudden waking up awareness to completely obliterate and remove the other one? Not so. It's still got traction. It's got traction. And every time you start returning to it and think, oh man, this is not looking good. Oh my God, we got a war going on. Oh my God, I'm getting older. My skin's getting thinner. Oh my God, I can't see as well as I can. And you have all of these doubt considerations coming into your picture. That's because your old awareness still has traction. It's still got momentum. So when it shows up, you have two choices. You can say, okay, my assumption isn't working. I'll go back. Or the other choice is, wait a minute. This is not who I am. I am going to persist in seeing my life through who I am and who I am becoming. And all of this other will eventually die down and eventually fade away because the universe honors assumption. If you assume it to be bad, guess what? It's going to show up. If you just walked into a room and somebody said, all of this that's sitting around you is just bag upon bag of money, you're going to say, yippee! And then you're going to start worrying about, I'm going to put this. Somebody's going to come and steal it. And that's poverty consciousness coming through the manifestation of doubt. So I'm just trying to show you the contrast here that exists, that we are in the process of living through, so that no matter what shows up, or who it is that shows up, you're going to maintain your awakened awareness of who you see yourself to be, that you recognize you are in the process of becoming. And you know that the universe is going to honor you by changing everything because the universe honors consciousness. Let me say that again. The universe honors consciousness. So who you consciously behold yourself to be, the universe is waiting for you to get it all in sync and all together to where you think it, you feel it, you live it, you be it, and you maintain it. You know, the universe really doesn't have anything else to do. It's got to honor you, just like it's honoring you right now. You like the way the universe is honoring you? Yes. Well, if you don't, change you. Change your awareness of yourself. Let go of who you believe yourself to be and start opening up to who you see yourself becoming of who you want to be. Is any of this making sense?
Yes.
Okay, good, because even if it doesn't, I wanted to get your attention. Because doubt has its own language and clarity has its own language. So, let's see, what can I make? Okay. Here's a phrase you might find will help you. Become now who you would be then. Become now who you would be then. And this is in consciousness. That's where all of this happens. It happens in your own awakening awareness. You might could say that doubt really exists only in the state you're trying to leave, if you're in the process of awakening to who you truly are. You let that be, you open yourself up, and you live who you are becoming, and you live it fully. It fully embraces your consciousness, and there just is no room for doubt whatsoever. But what causes some people to abandon their assumption about who they are? Contradictory awareness. Let's say you've taken it in yourself that you're going to be a wealthy being. And the mail comes in, and here's this outrageous bill in your mail. So, it's either so, I'll go jump off the bridge now, or so what? The so what is from the consciousness that realized contradictory evidence in no wise is something that actually disproves my assumption. All it is showing you that your past awareness still has some traction. It still has some energy there. So what? What do you expect? And this is where you grow. See, one of the things that comes out is, you've heard of mastery? That's about somebody else, right? Yeah, that's about you. Look at an athlete. For an athlete to become really good at whatever it is that they choose, they have to practice. They have to practice, practice, practice until they become who they want to be. Where the practice is showing up is in awareness. Practice, practice, practice as who you will become, and you will become who you want to be. But it's not going to happen by, okay, I wake up in the morning and I get into my meditation and I'm very devout for about 5 minutes. That's it. And then during the day, what do I resort to? My old self, who's leading me by what it was taught, and I'm still following. But you can learn with this too, because after a while, it will eventually register, wait a minute, there's not a match here. What I was discovering and confirming as my assumption in the morning in my meditation and what I'm living out now, there's not a match. How can it possibly happen? And what is the universe going to honor? Not a 5-minute speech, but what you constantly are generating. You see, we're frequency beings. We actually are. So if our frequencies are generating who we have assumed ourselves to be, that's going to be actually radiating out and affecting. But if we are generating who we used to be, well, don't be surprised if that keeps showing up. And the reason it is, you're demanding that it show up. The universe is simply honoring what is predominant in your frequency. So, we come to this place now and we see, all right, doubt really doesn't have room when you are complete in your assumption and when you maintain living that as your living reality. So, the outer world is simply consciousness made visible. It is not the dominant reality. It's only the manifestation of what we have been holding in consciousness. So, did we learn this in kindergarten? How about elementary? How about school at all? Did we learn this in church? Did we learn this in the university? So, get a handle on this. We have been programmed to stay dumbed down. This that we are experiencing in our awakening relieves us of all of that if we let it go from our belief and we begin to get curious about, okay, what's this guy talking about? He's talking up here like he knows what he's talking about. And that's because he knows as far as he does about what he's talking about. And that's because he's living it. You see, the living reality is the confirmation that you truly are a divine being of creation, which means you are a creator in divine proportions. So, my encouragement is wake up! Start getting curious about who you are. Start looking to see and find out. Just because you've been told you have been what you have been told you are, doesn't mean that's who you truly are. That's it. Thank you.